Garbage Pail Kids and horror go hand in hand. I would say most Garbage Pail Kid fans are fans of horror movies. The ones I know anyway. I myself became a huge fan of classic horror at 14 years old. I became a fan of 80s slasher horror at 20. From there it had no end. When GPK was first created, it was run by myself and GPK member Andy J. And as you can see by his banner and avatar, he's an avid horror fan. He even makes exact replica Freddy Krueger gloves on his website, k4fgloves.com. When I saw how easy it was to run a message board, I created my own horror-based message board called Crystal Lake After Dark. It was based on the Friday the 13th movies, but you could talk about anything horror. My life was engulfed in horror from that point forward. I was even the co-host of a horror radio show called Rabbit and Red Radio, which is still churning out new shows every month. We had about 6,000 to 10,000 listeners till we left the website that will go unnamed due to the differences we had with them. So I think it's only fitting that this month of October I do a few horror-themed GPK radio shows. Here's how I planned it out. We'll talk about a Garbage Pail Kids series like always, then we'll do a Horror 101 segment. Sound good? Let's do it. Alright, let's begin. Garbage Pail Kids Series 7. We start off with Valerie Vomit. Besides being a movie star, Valerie is a puzzle bag. You know, I wonder, Valerie is clearly puking into a heated pot. Now, who exactly is she cooking that for? And why does hot puke taste better than room temperature? Something to think about. Milky Wayne.
Hey, what? Do I have to milk that bunch of cows?
No, not bunch. Herd.
Herd what?
Herd of cows.
Sure, herd of cows. What do you think I am, a dummy?
No, a cow herd.
What do I care for cow herd? I didn't say anything to be ashamed of.
Oh, please, do you know what a cow gives? A cow gives milk.
No, she don't. You gotta take it away from her.
Oh, come on, let's get over to the barn. No. Here, put that under the udder.
The udder what?
The cow's udder.
The cow's udder what?
Under here, please. Now sit down there, milk the cow.
You mean under the crankcase?
All right, call it what you want, but get some milk.
Gotta love Abbott and Costello. We'll actually coincidentally be talking about Abbott and Costello later. Christmas, the spirit of Christmas personified. I'm glad kids had this card, lest any of them think that those department store Santas are actually really Santa.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Jackpot, yeah. Well, I'd be happy to get anything out of those fucking machines. Cut Up Carmen. You guys are gonna think I'm a total waste of life loser, but I can't resist. I know. Now you can't tell me you never wondered. Oh, come on, you can't be surprised. I do a Garbage Pail Kid radio show. You haven't figured out that I'm fucked up yet? Oral Laurel, talk about another mouth to feed. They can't all talk, though, can they? Grilled Gill. Grilled Gill. You know, I'm gonna miss summertime. Except for the whole, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas thing. Adam Boom. I believe the first and only Garbage Pail Kid to have a second card, until the Where Are They Now, of course. But he may be the only one with 3 cards. Gooey Huey. I love how the snot has a diaper, and its own snot coming out of its own nose. Gotta love that. Jughead Ted. Is this what they did to the cast of Jersey Shore before they got the cameras rolling? Somebody had to pour their brains out, because clearly they're not operating on brains. Right? Yeah. Vincent Van Goner. Cut his friggin' ear off. He must be married, because he's smiling now that his ear is gone. So, Pete C. literally took a shit and ran away with it. Blown Joan. Boy, if little girls thought this was what will happen to you if you took too long getting ready, doing your hair and all that stuff in the bathroom, me and Tangerine might actually get somewhere on time. Penta banger. Keep it to yourself. Cranky Kristen gives the same kind of blowjob Tangerine does when she's cranky. Penta banger. Keep it to yourself. Anyway, damn. I mean, don't call this girl unless you got a pencil dick, if you know what I mean. Haunted Forest.
What do you think you're doing?
Jay Prey. Yeah. Let's see a few things that squeeze the life out of you. Your boss, credit card company, car insurance, electric bill, car payments, girlfriend, relatives, mortgage, parents, rent. Need I really go on? Wheelbarry. Damn, don't you wish these things really existed? You know you'd all use that. Banana Anna.
Are you in there? Oh, Banana Anna.
Have a Nice Dave. Probably the worst Garbage Pail Kid thus far. You know you agree. Short Mort. I love the card, but never understood the cup of pencils. If anyone does, drop a line. Please, leave your comments. Shut Up Sherwin. See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, but smell no evil? I hate to see this kid in a full body shot with no clothes on. Ugh. Think about that one. Screwy Dewey. This card is interesting because it's kind of foreshadowing what will happen in the world of Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, look at the cracks in the body, implying that he's plastic, which we all know the Garbage Pail Kids turned into after that horrible, horrible lawsuit that affected the art from series 10 and on. Alien Alan. Do you guys believe in or aliens? I do, but when the hell are they going to swing by? I hope in my lifetime. Wind Shielda. Don't text and drive. Haley Comet. I love this card. It's just so different and awesome. Christine Vaccine inspired Amy Winehouse to become the woman who died. Grant Ant. What's that shit on his head? I never... What? Like cheese? Homer Runt. Should I do my third Major League joke? No? No? Okay. I do just like how he knows he threw his own head, yet his head looks surprised at the idea. Stapled Gunther. Who is that, Steve-O? If it is, he forgot to staple his testicles to his thighs. Now it is time to explore the... Where were we going with this? Oh, right. It's time to explore where it all began. This is Horror 101 with your Professor Juice. Universal Studios Monsters Classic Collection. This is where it all began for me. There was no way Garbage Pail Kid artists were going to pass up parodying such great characters. First we have Count Dracula. The very first Dracula movie was released 80 years ago in 1931 and starred Bela Lugosi. This was the very first talking horror movie ever made. His natural appearance is what our culture has since associated with vampires. The movie itself was very slow. The only good scenes were his, in fact. Despite Universal releasing a slew of Dracula intact movies, Bela only played the part of Dracula twice, in Dracula and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. He was replaced by John Carradine due to the scheduling arrangements in the Dracula sequels, so unfortunately we did not see him in House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula. Luckily, we did see Lon Chaney Jr. don the cape as Dracula's son in Son of Dracula, my personal favorite Dracula movie. The classic Dracula movies I recommend this Halloween are House of Frankenstein, Son of Dracula, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and The Return of the Vampire. Frankenstein. The very first Frankenstein movie was released 80 years ago in 1931 and starred Boris Karloff. The makeup done by Jack Pierce is what our culture associates with the look of Frankenstein's monster to this day. Despite what most people think, Frankenstein was not the name of the monster, but the doctor who created him by sewing together parts of old dead bodies and shooting it full of electricity. Karloff would go on to play Frankenstein's monster for 2 more sequels, The Bride of Frankenstein and The Son of Frankenstein. Karloff lost interest in playing the role of the monster, so who did they get to fill the shoes? Legendary classic horror actor Lon Chaney Jr. shaves off his fur and grows a foot tall to portray the monster in my favorite, The Ghost of Frankenstein. Then there was the dilemma, who would play the monster in the follow-up Frankenstein, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman? Lon Chaney already had to play the Wolfman, so Bela Lugosi lost his cape and learned to grunt. The original script actually called for the monster to speak. Due to the events in the previous film, it was only natural. However, the talking was cut from the film, resulting in a lesser but still good film in the end. By House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, Glenn Strange was the only actor willing and fitting to play the role. The Frankenstein movies I recommend this Halloween are Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. The Wolfman. The very first Wolfman movie was released 70 years ago in 1941 and starred Lon Chaney Jr. 1941, that's 10 years after Frankenstein and Dracula. This movie is amazing. I actually own a replica silver cane from it. Now here's the catch with the original Wolfman character, who was played by Lon Chaney Jr. all 5 times, by the way. Nobody else could fill his shoes, so nobody bothered trying. The catch is, his character's objective was poorly written in all the sequels until Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. You see, in all the sequels, he just wanted to be cured of his curse. He didn't want to be a werewolf anymore. That was his entire objective in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, and House of Dracula. Not until Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein did they give him something great to work with, like stopping Dracula from reviving the Frankenstein monster. I'll tell you this though, despite the objective, you will still love this character. Lon Chaney Jr. had a lot of deep-rooted issues that his character shares. They come through on the screen. It's a very pure performance. I recommend any Universal classic horror movie with the Wolfman in it. Thank you for watching, kiddies. Tune in to GPK Radio Episode 8 for an in-depth look at modern horror monsters who cut their way to your living room while GPK was in full force. GPKUG.com for the very best in Garbage Pail Kid discussion. GPK World, Baron Aaron's Garbage Pail Kid World. GEEPEEKAY.com. K4FGloves.com for the very best Freddy Krueger or Slasher Asher replica gloves. Crystal Lake After Dark.proboards.com for the very best in Friday the 13th discussion since 2004. Garbage Pail Kids Radio on Facebook. Join tonight for all the news on every show.